I'm reading from Act 3, Scene 4, lines 44 to 50. And I just wanted to read a little bit before that. Because in this section, he talks a lot about hands. And so I just wanted to read a little bit before that and then go into analyzing this section. So Othello says, "Give me your hand." He takes her hand. "This hand is moist, my lady, Desdemona. It yet has felt no age, nor known no sorrow." So then, starting with line 44, it says, "This argues fruitfulness in liberal heart." So, in the Folger's version of Othello, it gives you what some of the words mean on the other page. So it says, "This argues fruitfulness." So, meaning it's not going anywhere. So, or it's not producing anything. It's not, the argument's not giving the results that he was hoping for. And then he also says, "in a liberal heart." So, this would mean generous, but it also means dissolute, which would mean lacks morals, and he's referring to Desdemona here, in liberal heart. And then he goes on to say, hot and moist. This hand of yours requires a sequester from liberty, fasting, and prayer. So, he's saying that he wants to separate, like, to make space between him and Desdemona. So, sequester would mean hiding or isolation, and then their liberty would mean freedom, and then fasting would be abstaining. So, back in that religious culture, that's what they would do. They would fast and not eat anything and then pray a lot. So he's essentially saying that he wants to a sequester. So he's isolating from Desdemona and wants to just put some space between them so that he isn't as brokenhearted as he wants to be. And then it also goes on to say, much castigation exercise devout. So castigation would be punishing. So he's saying much castigation. He's starting with how he's saying it's a lot. So in this part, I would say Desdemona is punishing Othello because he believes that Desdemona is having an affair with Cassio when she's actually not. And he's believing all these lies that Iago is telling him. So he believes that she is punishing him. And then he goes on to say, here's a young and sweet devil here that commonly rebels. So when he goes on to say that, he's referring to Desdemona. He's referring her to as a devil, someone who is evil, and then somebody who commonly rebels, someone who just commonly goes and doesn't care about everything else. And then as he goes on, he refers to hand again, and so it says, "'Tis a good hand, a frank one." So here, this would mean, a frank one would mean open and generous. So in generous, remember in the beginning it means dissolute, which would mean lacks morals. So he's saying, "'Tis a good hand, a frank one." So he's referring to how Desdemona is loose in her morals. She doesn't care, and that she just is all over the place. She rebels when she wants, but in reality, this is not what is actually happening. She was friendly with Cassio. So then Iago plants a seed of deception in Othello's head and says that she's doing all this stuff when she's actually not. And then I also thought it was interesting how he continues to use the word hand again. In line 52, he says a liberal hand. And I just thought it was interesting how he's using the word hand a lot. And I guess that would refer to how she's just all over the place. I don't know if that's exactly true, but I just thought that was interesting.